I've always been fascinated with people that have innate abilities and or skills, kind of like Megumi does in Jujutsu Kaisen. You might be able to notice this, or maybe you did notice this on your first watch through, your second watch through, kind of like I did. The first watch through I never did, but Sukuna, he saw something in Megumi. It's probably the same thing, or is the exact same thing that Gojo ended up seeing in him as well. That basically Megumi has the power and the strength to be able to defeat like S-class curses, along with being able to defeat like Gojo if he really wanted to, because he has the same technique that other people back in the day had, where Gojo talks about this. He's like, I think it was during the Edo period, or maybe Kiichu, I forget, but the heads of their respective households killed each other in a fight before the Acrastocracy, not even correct right there, but you know what I mean. Back then, where the heads, a limitless curse technique user with the 6 eyes like me from the Gojo family, and a 10 shadow technique user like Megumi from the Zen family. You get what I'm trying to say. It's like both of them went head to head back in the day, even though they were in different bodies, different forms, and both of them were able to overcome and defeat one another. This is why when Sukuna talks about like back then, and I think it was like the 4th or 5th episode, when Itadori and Megumi end up facing the first S-class cursed level spirit, and it's like, back then, why did you run? Makes me is like, I don't know, that was a wasted opportunity. Anyway, at this rate, I ain't gonna fix his heart, is what Sukuna says. And Megumi's like, what does Sukuna mean by that? Because then he ends up thinking about it a couple of times afterwards. He's like, wait, hold on, the most powerful cursed user in the entire world was telling me that like I wasted an opportunity. It's kind of like, what is like, hold on, I don't understand this. And this is where I talk about and why I say like it's so crucial, and why I've had so many mentors and coaches and like other consultants, or like just friends of mine that have been able to help me, or even strangers as well too, that I just meet like at a bar or on a park or out on a walk or like at the gym or wherever it may be, that have helped me progress and see through my own self-limiting beliefs or my own potential or my own skill. Because there's a lot of times in our life, at least in my life, that I've come to realize that having somebody else look at me from an outside perspective and have them give me the perspective that I was looking for, then I can go back in and I can like analyze that and I can think about it. Because there's a part, I can't remember the exact episode, but it's like when they're training with the second year students. I know I need to take better notes, you guys. I apologize. This is how I have most conversations that I have with people IRL, like when I'm just chatting with strangers. So I do it this way because it feels more genuine to me, because then you can take this lesson or these stories or the way that I speak and go out into the real world and have a conversation just as I have a conversation, because you won't always have like notes in front of you. All you can have is your own like personal experience, your own internal mind, your own internal view. Like you can't always have things written out to be able to be like, oh, this person's going to say this and this is going to be said and so on and so forth. But that's a different thing. But that's kind of why I don't have the exact episode number for this. But if you watch the series, you know what I'm talking about. And if not, go back. It's before episode 12. I can tell you that much. It's when they're training, when Panna's throwing around Katsuki. I think that's how you say her name. And if not, I do apologize for that as well too. I don't know Japanese. I love anime, but I don't know Japanese. So when he's throwing them around, like Megumi's like asking Mai about like how he could store like cursed weapons or something like that. And you see this in the second series or second episode, second season, where Megumi takes the sword out when he's fighting against his dad, but you don't necessarily understand. I didn't know that. He asked about that skill beforehand, but like when he's sitting on like the steps and the stairs, like he uses his hand to like touch into and go deep into the shadows, because he's using the 10 shadows technique. And if you ever watched Solo Leveling, this popped up into my head when I was doing a little bit of like brainstorming around this. Shadows are one of the most used versatile elements in the entire world, is because everything possesses a shadow, regardless of what it is. And this is where I say like this is what Sukuna was referring to Megumi, and this could be a hypothesis. I haven't read the manga, so I don't know if this is true or not. This is just my own like internal thought process of what I could see happening. If Megumi has the 10 shadows techniques, basically he's able to take the shadow from any user at any point in time, any cursed spirit, and make it his own. So like he can go out and he can find a shadow from like an S-class, like cursed spirit or something like that, and then make that his own companion. I don't know if he has to have a certain level of skill or understand, but this is something that I believe Gojo had also noticed. And these are things that I am able to pick up in people such as yourself. Like I can pick up on like your hidden talents, your hidden like roughs, your hidden diamonds that you have within your own psyche and your own mind and your own being, because they're things that I have done for myself. They're things that I've done for other clients of mine. They're things that I've done for other friends of mine. Being able to find that small little thing that can help you progress forward so you can have a new skill and you can start to think about it in different perspectives. Because like I was saying, when Megumi is like digging into the shadows, like in the concrete, he's like, maybe Sukuna was right. Maybe I do have more power. And then I don't know the exact episode when he goes and talks to Gojo about the thing that I read a couple of minutes ago, but basically like there's this whole shock that comes to him. He's like, wait, hold on, I'm really that powerful? It's like, I had no idea. It's like, yeah, bro, like we don't know our own power because we can only ever see ourselves. So we think, or may think, because of other people that have been around us or our own self-limiting beliefs or our own perspective of ourselves, that we can't do certain things because like growing up, we were just the mirror. We didn't have our own autonomy, basically. So, like, as a kid, and this all ties in together, so, like, just bear with me for a couple more minutes, and then we can get through, and then you can get back onto your day of walking your cat or something like that. I don't know why I say walking your cat. I just found people walking their cats one day when I was walking on one of the hikes that I was doing. I was like, this is pretty interesting. So, having somebody else that can come in and see your innate ability, your own skill, your things that you necessarily don't know, because like I was saying, when we are kids, all we can ever do is like go off of what our parents or the elders know us as. So like you can imagine yourself as like a child playing in the dirt or something like that. You're running, you're chasing one of your friends or something along those lines, and your parents are over here like just watching you guys play, and then like you trip and fall, and then all of a sudden like you skin your knee, and you look around at like mom and dad, or you look around at like the other people or whatever it is, and you look at them and you're like, do I cry? Do I laugh? Like, what do I do? Is this supposed to hurt? Is this not supposed to hurt? It's like, I don't know. Like, you outside world, tell me, like, what am I supposed to feel? And then the outside world tells you how you're supposed to feel, and then as you get older, you start to do those same things, and then you get those same traits or characteristics ingrained in you. So if you have one of your kids or one of your parents, like let's use two different examples. So one kid falls, trips his knee, like skins himself, and then all of a sudden his parents are like, oh yeah, you need to cry. So then the kid's crying and weeping and everything like that. Hey, I'll buy you an ice cream cone, and then you'll feel better. Whereas the other kid's parents are like, oh, look at that, like you're okay, like that didn't hurt that bad. And you're like, maybe sniffling a little bit, is like, yeah, no, like, I'm good. And then you go back out and play with your friends. Like, which one would you rather have? I know which one I would rather have, but like a lot of the times we don't grow up in the situations with the ones that we would rather have. Sometimes we grow up in the situations where we aren't necessarily getting the ones that we have to have. So as we get older, as I've gotten older, as each and every single one of you gets older, we are able to identify which ones we do want to have more of if we are open and receptive to those said environmental changes that we're looking to receive in our life, because you can start to react differently to your environment as you have grown, because now you have full autonomy. You have your own income, you have your own house, you have your own like bills, you have your own resources that you can use to invest in yourself, for one, which is why I have the coaching down below that you can book a call, 30 minutes. We can see if we jive. I can help you find your strengths, like I was talking about a little while ago. And then you can start to evolve into this new version of yourself. You can start to become stronger like Megumi. So you can start to fight people like Gojo, if that was something that you wanted to do. Or you can fight Sukuna, and you can become somebody that can truly defeat that person. Where it seems like, where at first when you see them where you're at right now, you can be like, there's no way. Like, there's no way that I could defeat this person. It's not possible. And you're like, but then what if it was? Like, just imagine that for a second. Like, what if you do have the skills? Because you do. They just might not necessarily be unlocked. Like in Megumi, he has to have teachers, he has to have coaches, he has to have mentors that help him unlock those said skills, so that once he has unlocked those said skills, now he can start to move forward. Now he can evolve. Now he can grow. Now he can change. Or if he didn't have that in the first place, then he wouldn't be able to unlock and defeat these other stronger enemies. That's why I always like hanging around people that are stronger than me at the gym. Because if I hang around other people that are stronger than me at the gym, then the cause of me doing that, because everything's just a cause and an effect. So the effect of me hanging out with those other people, because like the cause is just me being there and helping it out, but like the effect is I'm going to get stronger, I'm going to get bigger, and I'm going to learn something that I hadn't learned originally. Because in all likelihood, that person at the gym, and we'll go back to using the anime reference here in a second, me hanging out with that other person at the gym that's stronger than me is going to make me stronger. It's just like Megumi hanging out with like Itadori hanging out with Megumi. Like he gets stronger hanging out with Gojo, or hanging out with Nanami. hanging out with them, like he gets stronger because each time that he has to fight a stronger opponent, he has to evolve, he has to become stronger, he has to become something that he wasn't originally. Yet if he was never in that said situation, and this is why our community is so small and why the people that watch my videos and make it to this point, you are clearly somebody that is wanting to improve. You're clearly somebody that is looking for a change in your life, just as I have been, just as I always will be. And because we're always growing, we're always evolving, we're always changing in some way, shape, or form, I'm just here to add one extra chink or one extra shadow or one extra, I want to say, ability to your chain to help you grow, kind of like Totoro, Itadori's best friend. I can never say his full name either. Toudou, I believe is how it spells. Like if Itadori didn't fight him, then Itadori wouldn't have become stronger. So you always had to fight people that are stronger than you because, like, do you want to be weak? If you want to be weak, cool. Like, you can keep being weak. I know that's not something that I ever wanted to do, so I had to put myself in those situations that would allow for me to become stronger. If you want to become stronger, like your favorite character, so that you can defeat any enemy that stands in your way, you have to have a coach, you have to have a consultant, you have to have a mentor, you have to have somebody that's going to help you progress forward. And if you aren't somebody like myself that's able to go out to the bars, because you can do this for free. You can do this all on your own if you really want to. Like, I find it more enjoyable that way. I have found out, though, from me hiring other coaches and me hiring other, like, consultants for my own personal sakes and going to, like, these songs, which is like a spiritual group retreat, or just hanging out with other people that are further along with me, I'm able to develop new skills and acquire new knowledge in a much faster means than if I was just doing it like from each video every single time. Because like these videos, I have to make them very broad. I can't make it very specific to your said environment, your said reality, your said experiences. Just as like you can tell everybody like that, hey, yeah, you can have the same powers as Megumi does and have the 10 shadow technique. Yet what is he going to do with that? Like, he doesn't know. Like, what if he has a different upbringing? What if he has to break down different beliefs that help him unlock those new skills? So having the one-on-one assistance helps out a lot. It's the same thing with Itadori and Sukuna. Itadori and Sukuna, like having them have that combination, and then having Gojo train Itadori and show him certain aspects, along with having Nanami show Itadori different aspects as well too, and having different people, because everybody has their own unique teaching style. Maybe I'm not the person that's here to inspire you or here to ask you the questions. Maybe there's somebody else online, or maybe I am. It's just, are you wanting to unlock those more of who you are? Because in all likelihood, we are, well, not even in all likelihood, I know this to be a fact, we are much stronger than we give ourselves credit for. We have much more strength, we have much more skills, we can defeat stronger enemies. Sometimes we just need a little push. Sometimes we need to put ourselves in those situations. And that's why I said, like, if you want to, you can go out and do it yourself. You can go to bars, you can go to the parks, you can go to the gym, you can go to all these other places. You can just go to the grocery store and start up conversations and ask people these questions. Obviously, you want to build it up, and you're probably going to fail a lot in the meantime, kind of like I did. And through that repetition, through that progress, through reanalyzing the stories within your own head, all of a sudden now it's going to become more freeing, so that now you can be more of what you weren't originally, and you can be more of what you are, because you always are what you need to be. Sometimes you just have to grow and evolve, and change is the one constant, so you always are changing in some way, shape, or form. A lot of other people, they don't change because they don't want to change, or they don't want to unlock their full capabilities. But from what I've seen from like Jujutsu Kaisen, and since I resonate with this, I have a feeling you resonate with this as well too, you have skills, you have a knowing within yourself of what you can do. Sometimes maybe other people have limited that to you, and that's why I say, like, you got to get around the right people. Have somebody that you're up against, that like you're on death's row, basically. Obviously, don't truly go to death's row, but like you could be in that position, and that's when it's like, okay, I have to unlock this new skill. I have to figure this out, and that's why when like having somebody that's stronger than you, that like is already beating you in some way, shape, or form, just kind of like Sukuna did with Megumi in one of the episodes when he rips out Itadori's heart. Like if he wouldn't have gone up against him in that moment, in that time, then Megumi never would have realized, like, oh, maybe I am stronger than I thought. Because like if this strong person that was just like throwing me around like a rag doll says that I have a wasted potential, like a wasted opportunity, maybe I am wasting my opportunity. Maybe I could have actually defeated him. Maybe I am stronger than I know. But a lot of the times we don't know what we don't know, and that's where I come in and I do my best to help you in those regards, so that you can have certain things that you didn't know start to become things that you do know. It does take work, it does take practice, it can take repetition, but it can be sped up with the right teacher, the right mentor, the right consultant, the right individual that helps you out. Because I've been able to help out other people. Like I've said, I watch all these animes, so I know these references that'll stick with you. I'm one of you. I didn't want to accept it for the longest time. Like, it's true. And this is just something that I want to help you out with, because I know how it can feel being weak and looked down upon, and not having the right resources or the right people to talk to, and having to go out into the world and be kind of a frightful just to go do these certain things. And maybe you aren't like me. Maybe you aren't. Maybe you were able to go to like the clubs and shop with the people that you need to talk with. Which if you were, awesome. That's cool. If you weren't and you wanted to do things differently than things that like everybody else was doing, and you wanted to create something different, that's where I come in. That's why I say book the call. And if you want to be able to unlock these certain hidden techniques that you didn't necessarily know were a part of you, you can do it on your own, like I said, or you can start to do it like Sukuna does with Megumi, and just like have a small little word or a small little phrase or something like that. And then what you do from there, that's completely up to you.